What's happening, Heat Seekers? Welcome back to the next day of the Heat Sheets Advent Calendar. And obviously, we know about the story of the three wise men, so it would be rude not to talk about the number one wise man in WWE, Paul Heyman. This video is going to be about his top 5 eras, so not just matches, not just moments, not just segments he's had. It's going to be about the top 5 biggest impacts he's had on the wrestling landscape, not just WWE, not just ECW, the whole lot into one. So here is my list. Number 5 is going to be his whole alliance with Brock Lesnar. So obviously he first came on the scene with Brock Lesnar in 2002. They realised that Brock Lesnar, the specimen that he is, obviously he's a great wrestler, he's a great athlete, he's a hyper athlete, but he's not the best talker, so why not pair him with the best talker in WWE history, Paul Heyman. Obviously his first run wasn't as memorable as his second run with Brock Lesnar, however he did lead him to a world title, but ultimately in the end, as most managers do, he turned on him, aligned him with a Big Show at Royal Rumble 2003 and helping him win his second world title. So he returned in 2012 to a match against John Cena, which was one of the most controversial decisions to have him lose his first match back. It was seen as a punishment for him leaving the WWE in 2004 and going off and doing his own thing. But in true Brock Lesnar fashion, he was able to go over that, make himself into the megastar that he was, with mostly the help of Paul Heyman. And in the end, they managed to pull off one of the shocks of WWE history and end Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania 30. Obviously, Brock Lesnar was in and out of the company, but any time he came back, he had Paul Heyman by his side, up until the end of 2020, where Roman Reigns took the hot seat with Paul Heyman, took him as his own advocate, and changed him into the wise man that we know. Number 4 is going to be his alliance with CM Punk. So during this, there was a lot of back and forth between Punk, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel. But at this point in 2013, he was mainly CM Punk's advocate, mainly his manager, and as well as that, he was portraying as a friend on screen. We first seen him driving the car that CM Punk got into when he was in a feud with John Cena in 2013, and it just went on from there, leading to the Summer of Punk and CM Punk's longest title reign to date. Not only was he his manager for this world title reign, but he was also the manager for his feud with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, in which CM Punk believed he should have gone on last and should have main evented the show. It was a great feud, however it involved the late great Paul Bearer, so it was a little bit close to the bone, and in the end CM Punk lost the match. However, it was one of the shining moments in Paul Heyman's career, managing to get CM Punk up to that main event level that we all know he was definitely deserving to be at. Number 3 is going to be probably his most influential moment in his career. He would tell you that as well, and it's going to be the creation of ECW. Obviously, we know there's been some great moments in ECW, but there's been some rocky times in dealing with all the drugs and the alcohol and the questionable characters. He had a real battle in his hand to keep that promotion going, keep it funded, and keep it going in the right direction, and keep everyone alive at the same time. So ECW was around from 1993 until 2001, all under the helm of Paul Heyman. He had a few handlers at the start, he had a few people that he would answer to, he would help, he would get money from. However, between about 1997 and 2001, he was all by himself. At one point, he appeared on WWE television in The Sandman, Tommy Dreamer. They looked to invade WWF, however, it seemed a little bit too soon and a little bit too violent for any broadcasters to take them on. This seemed to be a ever-present struggle in the battle to get them to the third promotion, obviously behind WCW and WWE, and ultimately running out of money in 2001 ended the company. However, during this time, he created some unforgettable memories and moments that us wrestling fans will never forget, and me being the ultra-violent hardcore fan that I am, there's definitely some memories in there that'll live with me till the day I die, especially the likes of Sandman, Sabu, Rob Van Dam, Taz. Just these moments, and you can see the caliber of superstars that they brought through that are not only ECW legends but are WWE Hall of Famers to this day and are still going in some capacity, a few of them. Recent incarnation, it's managing the bloodline and more importantly being the advocate or the wise man for Roman Reigns. Obviously we know that Roman Reigns was floundering, he was becoming the person that everyone loved to hate after John Cena, but it wasn't just that, it was a forcible shoved down our throat. And really, when Roman Reigns got over and became the tribal chief that he is today, is when he aligned with Paul Heyman with one of the biggest cliffhangers in WWE history. Roman Reigns wasn't the man that needed to be spoken for. He was always been, from about 2016, 2017, half decent on the mic, but when he became this heel with Paul Heyman by his side, looking a little bit more menacing, he really came into his final form that we know as the tribal chief. And just by being there with Paul Heyman, you knew that he was a big deal. That's what Paul Heyman does for superstars. Being aligned with him just makes you feel like they might be bigger than they are. And they're still going to this day, 4 years later. Obviously, he doesn't have as much involvement, he doesn't get as physical as possible, but the new bloodline versus old bloodline story, he's as crucial as any wrestler in there. And this is just a testament to how good he is and how much he's learned over the time of how to present himself by not doing much but still being one of the main characters in any storyline he's involved in. It's going to be arguably one of his most underrated eras of his career, and it's going to be the colour commentator in 2001. Obviously, most people see him as a manager or the promoter or the owner of ECW, and obviously the managers in WWE. However, he's the voice of arguably the best WrestleMania of all time, alongside Jim Ross. And that main event, him and Jim Ross just made it what it was. During the Alliance run as well, he was seen as the heel commentator replacing Jerry Lawler. It always needed that sort of Jekyll and Hyde between Jim Ross, and he needed his sidekick as well, or his other persona, which was Paul Heyman at the time, being the thorn in his side. So he did the best he could in there, and even though he was only there for 1 year, I would arguably say he's one of the best announcers they've had in WWE history, just for the calls he had in that Rock Austin match alone. So that's my fifth one on the list. Hope you enjoyed.